playtime is over. And we start the way we start. Some of you have memorized it. Some of you can dance around it. But at least we can all say it together. So we go. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know we'll say that again. Well, folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao, the fourth chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa. And those of you who wonder where Akwemu is, well, we use the dam as the biggest landmark. You know, you have the dam, you have the Adomi Bridge, and once you're there, you're pretty much in Akwemu. Folks, and I say thank God it's Monday. Another wonderful opportunity to perform radio's all-important ritual, only on Joy 99.7 FM. And I'll just say, I'll let all your contacts, all your WhatsApp group members to tune in so that you can continue the discussion afterwards, because there won't be enough time to beat about this issue. I'll flog it as much as I can, but you know what? You would have to continue on it. Folks, today our topic is many are educated, but few are hired. Many are educated, but few are hired. Maybe I should have been more dramatic, isn't it? Many are those who are educated, but few are those who are hired. Make it more biblical, make it more fun. But, folks, unemployment. Ghana and probably Africa's largest, by far, security threat. Unemployment. But it's been a while since I tell you a story, so let me share a story with you, folks. Once upon a time, the Opoku family, led by its head, Openyi Opoku, as usual, set out to build, a usual traditional clay and thatch house. And as it was in the old days, the children and the wife and extended family members all getting the mark and mixing the clay, and Openyi Opoku and his folks will be stacking up as it was going on. A very large and beautiful house was what he was going to build for his family. Halfway up, the whole thing fell. The whole thing fell. With great disappointment, they started again. Well, I said if you fail once, you have to try again. This time, they went even higher than the first time. And then they left it to dry overnight. The next morning, they will go back to continue. However, early in the morning, the neighbors came banging on their door, woke them up. The house they were building had collapsed again. And they were wondering, could it be the clay was too watery? Were we building too fast enough? Maybe we just need to go bit by bit and wait for it. What could be the problem? With the try and error and experimenting, they realized that if they could support the structure with bamboo, it could hold. And so they did. And lo and behold, the structure held, and they could even build higher. The Opoku residence was the talk of the village. Big, nice, solid house with beautiful touch. So, folks, many months down the line, Openyi Akon also harvests his cocoa, sells his, gets some money, and decides to also start a house for their family. They wanted something similar to what the Opokus have built. Again, as it was done back then, all hands on deck, and they got started. Just like the Opoku's scenario, the structure collapsed. They started all over again. And again, it collapsed. Now the children were getting tired as it was, work done back to zero all the time. One morning they decided, you know what, today we're going to give it one last push. And this time they went all the way up to the roofing level, and it seemed like they'd got it. They were there. They left it to dry. The following morning, they will come back to continue. But no, there was a knock on their door. It was the neighbor coming to tell them that the house had collapsed. Now, Mr. Ako's wife, by this time, was really furious. I mean, the children were mad and disappointed and ashamed and even instigating that the woman leaves him. What sort of man is this? Who wants this as a father? Folks, Mr. Ako was there when the Opokus were building. He knew that it was the bamboo that held the house together. Yet when it was his time to build, he was ready to go through the same trying and errors that the Opokus went through when they did not know about the bamboo. He was now going to reinvent a wheel that was already made. Yes, it's very frustrating. Yes, folks, it's very annoying. To fail with the benefit of hindsight is very, very disheartening. And we, folks, I want to find out that are we the only country to have unemployment on the rise? When did we even realize that unemployment was going up? But just like Mr. Ako, we do not, we ask ourselves, don't we have scholars here in Ghana? And even those who had studied abroad and read the histories of how they mitigated this problem when it was confronted them. Yet they come back home and they are willing and ready to go through all the avoidable mistakes that have been well documented in the age of information that's available to us. Countries have gone through a period where they've had unemployment. Then maybe there weren't examples for them to learn through. So just like the Opokus, it was try and error until they found bamboo. But what is Mr. Ako's excuse? If now you know that the bamboo will hold the structure in place, why are you building and failing? Well, folks, if you know, you know. If you've listened to this show, you know I will not talk about this subject by saying that we need to start by slowing down the population, those who are coming in. You need to slow them down so you can create enough equitable jobs. So you can create enough equitable jobs. Now we hear all the time, I will create jobs. I have created jobs. Jobs will be created with huge numbers being thrown about. And then we applaud and get excited out of desperation. Folks, look at the queues of young men and women hoping to be immigration personnel. They have absolutely no love for our borders whatsoever. None. Zero. All they need is the security of payment every month. That's it. Security of payment month in, month out. As far as commitment and service to the nation, not all of them there have that kind of commitment. Folks, the numbers are mounting up, and dangerously, the ages are dropping. Too energetic, too idle. And you know something? Because of how the records are taken on paper, it looks okay. On paper, no matter how bad it is, it looks okay. Because you see, folks, per our statistics, if your sister has a momo stall and you look after it over the weekend, so she goes to a funeral, to the government, you are not unemployed. Yes. So on the ground, the numbers are much, much worse, because I don't think you would consider yourself employed because you babysat a momo stall over the weekend. But to the government, you are not unemployed because over the weekend, you babysat the momo stall. So I'm saying that on paper, when government has 2 people unemployed on the ground, trust me, there are thousands of people unemployed. Many are educated, but few are hired. School to us, folks, has become a routine. Me too, let me go some. The country itself has a dying ambition to send everyone to school. We've extended it to senior secondary. Brilliant. Parents are sending the awards to school and paying dollars. There is nothing wrong. So we all go and do what we feel like doing. Then we come out of school and ask around if anyone needs our services or whatever it is that we studied in school. Many people have just gone through school, passed very well, and are now in the market looking for a company or a government who may hire them based on what they studied, only to find out that no one needs their services or what they studied, or the market is already saturated. Only to find out that the market is already saturated with whatever course it is that they studied. Finance Minister says the payroll is full. See, I am mad. Folks, the countries that got out of this quagmire, what they did was they put the brakes on, they sat down to identify their country's potential. At least 5 or 6 areas that they know that in this area we cannot fail. And every country has some sort of a blessing in an area where, wherever it is your position geographically, there is something there that is your potential. And so they will identify it, maybe 5, 6 areas. Folks, then all roads leads to this area. Starting from laws, policy, education, infrastructure, even the energy and focus of the nation goes towards the area of which they've selected. Now, in each of these chosen areas, the finished product has to be world class and exceed export requirements. Now, everyone in the country, whether educated or not, finds their space, either in a highly skilled or not, but in this area that the nation is focused on. Even medical staff train in the types of hazard that could occur in these areas. Companies that will make protective gear suitable for work in these areas. Special cleaning agents that may need cars, drivers that are needed to transport the finished products. So you can plug yourself. By the time you finish school, no matter what level, you can plug yourself somewhere within this dream, direction, focus, potential. So even before you go to school, you know that I'm going to plug myself in potential A, area B, area C, you know. And you build yourself towards it. And in each area, there will be so many other areas attached to it. So that if they said they were going to plant mangoes, there will be somebody who is not interested in planting mangoes, but he's learning how to make mango jam. Somebody's learning how to make mango chutney. Somebody's business is making the chemicals to spray the mango so that the insects don't come and eat the mango. So it's not just mango, it's just mango, pluck, sell it by the roadside and go to sleep. No. All these other things, the whole energy is towards mango. Everything that could be derived from mango, there will be somebody learning how to do it. Folks, that's how you bring down unemployment. You don't send all your children to school to speak English and wear a white shirt and come looking for a desk, air conditioning, and a pen and paper. You can't. Folks, government, there are 30 million people in Ghana. So what? You expect government to create 18 million jobs? Everybody under over 18, government will hire you. Everyone feels entitled to be on the government payroll. Take a mic round and interview. Can the government really hire 18, 12 million people? Folks, I'm told that one time, right, Ghana Airways, good old Ghana Airways, had one airline doing international flights, and they had 4,000 workers. 4,000 workers, and they had one plane going to London and back. Every day it was late. Anytime it landed in Heathrow, it was fined. So, I mean, it was even working at a loss because all the profit would go into fines. But they had 4,000 workers. Why? As it will be a management. Folks, hear me out. Hear me out here. What problem in Ghana? What potential in Ghana today is our education meant to solve or harness? Folks, what problem in Ghana or potential in Ghana today is our education meant to solve or harness, other than speak English and ignore our heritage? We are all doing our personal best. But you ask yourself, best compared to who or what? Only God knows. We are all doing our best. Only God knows as to what we are doing our best to. Folks, I said the other time that there were too many of us in the classroom.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Too many of us in the classroom. And on that show, many people did not agree with me because to many of us, a classroom is, 4 walls, a chalkboard, and a teacher. Anything other than that, and we don't classify it as education. Folks, how can we create jobs when we import so much? Even things that we can do, we import. Folks, simple fabrications. You go into a shop and there's just a simple fabrication with a flower pot, decorative piece that will sit on the side of a living room. It's imported. Simple. It can be done in SS2, SS3. Simple. Just some small piece of the flower pot. It's imported. So how can we create jobs? Folks, we need to select items that we import. The ones we import in big bulks. And then we have to start training ourselves to make these things. Folks, you go through Abusiokai, and the tons and tons of spare parts, just usually used metal bits that we buy. I mean, are we really saying that we cannot train any metal fabricator and give them these links that we always fall in our potholes, and we are buying links and this back and that rack? I mean, is it really beyond us as a people to have a big fabrication center? We know the cars we have in Ghana. There's the Corollas and there's the Daewoo's and there's the Honda. We know the cars that come. We know the parts that come. So that instead of buying them used, we can actually fabricate them here and do it to world standard. I mean, is it really, truly beyond us? To me, never. We can never buy a machine and melt, bars and parts from it. So at least we can, half or just, really reduce some of the wastage that we bring into the system. And this will create jobs. The bales and bales and bales of used clothing, sometimes even used underwear. Are we really saying that it is beyond us, that we can't have a good industry that can really clothe ourselves? It starts with laws, it's followed by policy, backed with education, focus and spirit. Why can't we do it? So you can't import all these things and say you will create jobs. But what are you going to create? What is that job going to do? Everything we are using, we are bringing it in. How many HR people can we have? How many accountants can we have? How many administrators can we have? But they are all sitting on a desk. They are all typing a computer. They are all clothed. They all drive home. So those are where the jobs are. The things they are using, that's where the job is, and not necessarily them. And so for this skills business, every time I talk about skills, that means you are anti-government. If we do not channel most of our youth to understand that if you can fabricate a chair, a table, if you can build a house, wire a house, if you can paint a house, you are not a second-class citizen, then please, let us just accept that we are going to live with millions and millions of people who are unemployed, and we just have to pray that they don't get frustrated. Because anytime I hear I will create jobs, sometimes I wonder, create jobs in what sector? Is anybody trained in that sector to do that job? Because sometimes the numbers are huge. We'll create 1 million jobs, and you think, hold on, are there 1 million people who understand that job? Have they been trained? So folks, the energy, the English, and all these things, we have to put the brakes on, come to the drawing table, choose the areas that we know that this is our potential. Organic farming, cotton, whatever. This is where we are going. And then we change the focus, the language, the education, the spirit. We change it. And people will just find their place. Government will struggle to find people to work for it. The government will struggle to find people to work for it because people can find themselves solid where they are their own bosses, earning more money. They can go to work at the time they want and come home at the time they want and earn more money. They won't be under any government restrictions. Government will struggle to find people to employ. But you know something? I am not a labor expert. I am clearly not a labor expert. I'm certainly worried about the numbers growing in terms of the unemployment and the strategy to harness them. It is 0302216541. You can agree, you can disagree, you can add to and take some out, but we do it all agreeably. Good old Derek.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Governor, I greet you well.
I greet you back.
I cannot agree with you more.
Mm-hmm.
Nana, ASP, I think we lost our focus. The wisest option, I think, for now should be our focus on agri. Nana, let's ask ourselves, how many of us, I was born and bred in the countryside, we're growing cocoa. How many of us have even the knowledge, all this good and big English, have the idea of what cocoa oil can do? That notwithstanding, we have a lot of crops. But that aside, I think the multinationals are not helping us. And then the best option for government to do is to set the parameters straight. There should be counseling departments in all our schools, so that at least before you even exit JS to the SS before the tertiary, you should be able to know what you are going to study and the areas that your interest lies. Because you cannot impose anything on a student. Maybe my father can be a lawyer, a doctor. Oh, because I'm a doctor, be a doctor. I might not be that good in science. But maybe my interest will be in agriculture or carpentry or masonry or doing to ourselves, our government should sit up for one. I thank you.
Thank you too. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. Good
Yes.
evening.
Good evening.
And I'm about to walk home today.
Nyami adom.
The family partner.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Nana, today's topic, I don't know. This is, I've been waiting for this for long. Seriously, I've been waiting for this for long, Nana. Today's topic is very, very heavy. It's very, very, very heavy, Nana. And I don't know how our leaders are going to hear this. And as you said, government cannot create it all, but they have to set the way for us. Nana, today's topic, I wish you could continue this topic for the next 3 weeks, so that we will center our minds on these things, Nana. This is the drive, in my opinion. This is the drive. This is how we have to go. We have to identify these things, Nana. I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. You have hit the nail right on the head. This is all about the nation. This is all about the country. Everything, job creation, everything is centered around what you have brought this evening. All I'll say is that, Nana, thank you very much. You've really made my day, but I'm saddened as well. Seriously, Nana.
I'm glad you tuned in. Thank you very much. Who's on the line?
Yeah, my name is George. George Okay.
Let me hear you, sir.
Yeah, Nana. I don't agree with you at all.
Good.
You see, and then I believe you went to school small, isn't it?
I did small.
Yeah, you did some education.
I did.
If you didn't go to school, you will not be able to speak English that you are speaking.
Well, you could say that.
Nana, God did not create only our hands, legs, and probably our body without our brain. When we go to school to train our brain to become better thinkers. You see, we don't only have to make flower pots and then speak English. Going to school is not about speaking English. I went to school, okay, and I studied management. I'm a fellow of ABE UK. I went to a German university, and then I am an MBA. You see, the problem we are having is that the economy has not expanded well, okay, to accommodate the people who are being trained in the universities to find jobs. I want you to cast your mind back a bit. You will see that not too long after Rawlings left office, the year 2000, Osaf Mafo established what they call a venture capital fund. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Good. Now, what the venture capital, and I applied. It was meant for agric, pharmaceuticals, and IT. The offices were on the Ghana Commercial Building that got bent, a cycle. What threw me out was I had to have 30% of the 100,000 that they were looking for, which is $30,000. I didn't have it. But if we had continued from 2000 till now, we are in 21 years after that. Would you know how many companies would have been established? You see, somebody who goes to a university, okay, goes to train their mind so that they can be better thinkers to be able to perform in a workplace environment. You won't put a carpenter. How would you feel if you went to a hospital and then right in front of you, you had a shoemaker sitting there going to attend to you? How would you feel? How would an Ansah feel? Okay, if you had a case in court and then you were asked to be represented by a carpenter. If all of us became carpenters, okay, how would we develop as a country? Now, you want to really look at the statistics. How many of us have degrees in this country? Look at the ratio of educated and uneducated people. The point I'm trying to make is that education is supposed to make us better. And the universities are supposed to train people. If we have a group of universities who are not training people who are intelligent, that's unfortunate. But I don't think anybody can sit in a university hall, a lecture hall, and become stupid. The aim is to train our brains to be better.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that call. 0302 216 541. I have a lot to say on that, but I'll leave it. Let's let it flow. Your submission is spot on as usual, and as an Air Force veteran, all our security services are filled with less passionate, less motivated individuals because the youth crave for job. It's only within the security service government can give them ultimatums to serve chiefs, and enlistment are the only way to employ the masses. Successive governments have failed us, the populace, tremendously in respect to employment opportunities. But ask who vouched and voted for these politicians. A few entrepreneurial opportunities in the form of grants and loans are given only to political party faithful. I see a current trend of youth striving to form their lives through any possible legitimate endeavor. That's a plus. God's own Ghana deserves better. This is Shem Mixin Yeboah. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. It is Shem Mixin Yeboah talking to you. I made my first point too. I need to make the second point.
Cool.
Now, you see,
Yeah.
I agree with you to some extent, but you see, we've seen government also try to, what do I say purposely? Like they do it with intent. Look like Tor, for example. Nana, we know what Tor's capabilities are. Tor is now being used as a tank farm or what? I don't know. We heard, I think, a month ago, the things that were going on there. Nobody will be prosecuted. And then a few individuals will say, let's privatize Tor. The moment Tor is privatized, Tor will run efficiently and effectively and will be able to make money for those individuals. So the problem sometimes is we have misplaced priorities. We put square pegs in round holes. We put people who don't have any know-how in certain institutions and they don't do anything, and then the institution collapses, and then the same government people and the few individuals will come and tell you, let us privatize it. You privatize it, these same individuals who made sure the agency or the job, whatever, collapsed, pass back and create a private company, get working, and before you know, they employ their own party people there. So you see, I get to an extent, government can do, not all, but then we the society should also empower ourselves. But Nana, ask yourself, where are the opportunities? Nana, I quite to say, yeah, meow. Like, yeah, meow. Like, I get it. Abraham Maslow's theory of needs always talks about food first, shelter, and all those kind of things. But Nana, a Janini Edinica, we import it. I don't know whether when we plant it, they won't buy, or we will either not get the fertilizer, or something is amiss somewhere. You see, we need to identify our problems and then find solutions to them. That is where I think our problem lies. But I really believe the current youth right now, we are really, really, really not trying, but we will do it, and we will make sure that when we get to the top, we will try and, change the narrative, because it's mind puzzling. It's mind puzzling.
Thank you. Look, give me 1 minute. I think maybe I didn't explain myself well. Look, let me take something like Cocoa Board. Look, Cocoa Board has set up this structure that, look, if you plant your cocoa, I'll come and buy it. So there are people all over Ghana. Some people haven't even been to Accra or seen the Cocoa Board chief before, but they plant their cocoa because they know that there's a system where you go dry it, they'll come and buy it. Because the system is there. Just do the cocoa, plant it and take it. So that's why I'm saying that if we identify other areas like we did with Cocoa Board, people will be somewhere, knowing that because these structures are in place, I just have to go and plug myself into it. There are people, not everybody plants the cocoa. People drive their cocoa. There are somebody who goes to dry the cocoa. Unfortunately, maybe we don't take it further to do the chocolates and the powder. Maybe we don't do too much of it here. But if we were to finish, go all the way out and have a chocolate industry and everything, look at how many people will plug in. So that's what I'm saying, that if we identify an area and make that area like the cocoa marketing board thing, people will find a way of plugging into. So I'll be going to school knowing that, listen, I have to be a cocoa technician. I have to know how to do the chemical to spray the cocoa to kill the insects. That sort of thing. But unfortunately with us, that's what I'm saying, that once we say they were doing mangoes, that's it. We plant the mango, plug the mango, that's the end of the production. We don't do the chutney, we don't do the jam, we don't do the juice. Mango, yate, asa. So once we encourage people, then there will be a whole industry of people who are wanting to juice mangoes, those who want to make jam out of mango, those who want to make chutney. The Indians are waiting for mango chutney, those who want to export the mango chutney. So that's what I am talking about. So in that industry, you would have drivers, you would have people who will clear the farms, you will have CSRI who will research into how to preserve it longer. You would have everybody in different sectors coming in to do a different aspect of that mango chain. Let's go to the phone lines. 0302-216-541. Hello, let me hear you.
Yeah, Nana, good evening. I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, my brother. I know
Yeah, we
this.
thank God for bringing you back.
Yes, I know.
And
this
such topics that you come out with, sometimes it's difficult for us to disagree, because when we say we are going to disagree, then we will need to struggle a lot. And when the government is looking at the area that you are discussing, you are talking about agriculture, the cocoa processing, the fruit production. After producing the fruit, you need to manufacture them into juices and what have you. When they do this, they are going to create more than 70% of jobs in existence. So in this state, what will happen is the payroll that they say is full. You see people, we'll be having about 30% of personnel going through the payroll. And the other side, having about 70%, which will not be burden on the government. And I was happy to hear on Super Morning Show when they were talking about electrical cables, and 3 Ghanaian companies were happening to be good and of good standard, the cables we are producing in Ghana here. And my wish is one day we wake up and hear that Ghana is growing rice to the extent that we are exporting some tons of rice to other countries. Yam, garden eggs, and fruit and vegetables, we are exporting them. After producing what we can eat, we are exporting some. So if we are not importing something like rice, sugar, and even when you go to livestock, the beef and the pork and the meat and what have you, we are rather, we are undergoing the livestock and sending some abroad. Do you think unemployment is going to be a problem? People always want to put on tie. I said it once that in my hometown, Pan1 tappers and farmers are brothers for those who are putting on tie to rent. So do you look down upon farmers? You know how to do farming, but I just need the capital. And God bless you for this topic.
God bless you too. God bless you too. We definitely have to hook up that okay. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening.
Good evening.
This Nana.
Nana, let me hear you.
I'm tired. I'm really, really, really tired because it's like we are saying the same thing over and over again. Same solution over and over again. How many years have we been having this show? And how many times have we spoken about it? Who is hearing, who is even listening to do something about it? I don't know. Me, I'm a university graduate, but I'm self-employed. I'm not really working with my certificate. It's for the creation. But the thing is, it comes from somewhere. Everybody wants their child to be a doctor. We are not saying being a doctor is wrong goal. No, that's not the point. What we are saying is everybody is here for a purpose. So why don't we allow them to discover that purpose and train them in that direction? So we all won't be killed in the same direction. That's what we are saying. So it's not that we are saying something is bad and something is not bad. Polytechnics are supposed to train people so that when they graduate, they can do something. And it's even a second choice. When someone applies for the university and they don't get it, that's when they try the Polytechnic. So what are we talking about? Good evening.
Good evening to you, Nana. Okay, so this one from Mark Cosby. Nana, if I say 60% of employees on government payroll are just a burden on us, they are a pure cost center and do nothing. Let government treat her employers as banks are treating theirs, where they are giving targets. And another government's revenue bucket has so many holes under it for revenue leakages. And as you keep on hammering on population, Togolese, Lebanese, and other foreign nationals are here prospering more and earning more than the Ghanaian. First degree, second degree, doctorate, PhD, yet common problems we know the fit fix. Marcosby Anthony. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hi, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, how are you?
I'm very well.
Okay. Well, good program as always, but I think that respectfully, this evening, you are just skirting around the issue. I say this in a very apologetic way.
No,
Nana.
that's fine. That's fine. You can disagree with me.
You see, Nana, I can tell you that from the beginning of the Fourth Republic, every single president, from Jerry John Rawlings to President Kufuor to President Atta Mills to John Mahama to the current president, they've all spoken about the fact that agriculture is the mainstay of the economy. And are you true of all?
True.
Very good. We all sat down here in Ghana and allowed the politicians, in the name of educational reforms, to stop us from studying agricultural science in a secondary school. And I was in a secondary school, public secondary school from 1984 to 1989. And as an agricultural science student, we were taught how to construct beds, how to plant tomatoes, groundnuts, and everything. We've taken it out. We've all moved to white-collar jobs and it's training. And so, Nana, how do you now make the youth interested in agriculture if it doesn't constitute one of the most important subjects? As someone said, everybody wants their children to be a medical doctor, an engineer, whatever. And the question is, in a country where even toothpick, which can be done by children in class 4 or class 1 or class 2, how do you then come and tell us that agriculture is the mainstay of the economy? Now, this is where the problem is. Let's go back. It's not too late. Let's go back as a country and make agriculture. It's just one of the many problems you have. Let's try to make agricultural science a beautiful and attractive course of study. And I believe all our problems will be solved. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you very much. But I thought you disagreed with me, but you seem to agree with me even more. And so, yes. So if we take agric, and I agree with you, even within agric, we can't decide to plant the whole world, but we could decide to do organic. Ghana can say we are going to feed the world organic food. So my boss pray, one day is going to eat us all up. They should stop it and then go organic. So like I agree with you. It will start with law, it will start with policy, it will start with education, and then you back it with infrastructure. So that roads to the farms, tractors to the farms, preservation methods, we will all plug ourselves into it. Me like this, I'll be a farm produce salesman because I can talk. So I'll come and say, what do you have? Oh, you have cassava. No problem. I'll link you up with some guys who want cassava. That will be my job. I may not necessarily be digging, but I'll be talking and selling the farm produce. We are in there. Hello. Okay. This one says, Nana, we need a whole national orientation on this topic. We still have this colonial mindset of technical work being menial and clerical work being elite. hence the levels of unemployed clerical first-class graduates. Lord have mercy. Odote ni odote. Should I end the show on that? Should I end the show on that? So we need to change it. A Greek in secondary school, we learned that in Mr. Mwakwata's school farm at Martin the Porous. This is Dr. Cynthia Tegu. As for one reason or the other, Mr. Mwakwata will always plant radish. Why? I don't know why, but there was always radish in Mr. Mwakwata's farm. Another good show, you're always on point. If we import everything into the country, like you said, then there will be unemployment till thy kingdom come. But I like the mango farm illustration. That shows we should plan the system and there will be a huge employment in the country. This is Gideon Perry. You see, folks, if you take something like America or Japan or something like that, they have reached such an advanced stage, you can go to school and do what you want and come back and look for the market, sort of. And even that, they sort of channel their education towards the opportunities. But we don't have that luxury. You cannot go to class 1 not knowing where you are coming to plug yourself into. So that by the time you come out of school, you are well equipped into the area that you're chosen to. And they said the whole nation should be focused on certain areas so that something. Yeah, we'll try and continue the show. Say happy birthday to my grandson. Yes, I have a grandson. I have plenty of grandchildren. Nana Ofebudu, happy birthday to you. Tomorrow is your birthday. Congratulations to myself and my wife. We won an award over the weekend, side by side. So, folks, until the Lions have their own historians, you know it. Hey, before I learn. Okay, so dyslexia is spelled D-Y-S-L-E-X for xylophone, I-A. So D for David, Y for Yankee, S for sugar, L for Lima, E for echo, X for xylophone, I for India, A for alpha. Dyslexia. So those of you who want to Google dyslexia, our last show we talked about reading difficulty. So please read about it. And next Monday, God willing, we'll be back to do this all over again. Kofi Forson is dead set and ready with some wicked tune. Maxwell Agbagba is here. Senior Kofi Hayford. Kofi Fachemi. I'm old, man. Senior journalist is here. Abeku was on 1s and 2s.